So it is steamy out today. It's about 95 probably. The kids are over there trying to catch minnows. We got the cows moved. We got the greenhouse somewhat ready to go with tarping. So we're gonna come in right here, tie up all this, retarp all this, make it look a little bit better. And then we're gonna run a pass right here. And that'll cover all that up. So all this will be black, and that way you don't have to worry about having weeds or anything like that, because all this will be growing food. And then in the inside, on the other side, that'll be stuff planted all on the outside. But all this right here, man, it's steamy in here. We're gonna put the aquaponics right here, and rainwater catchment, all that'll be right here. Solar coming in is right here. And then we're gonna go and put all the black tarp on this ground. We're gonna put all the raised beds on this side, kind of leave the middle open where we can move stuff around with tractors with the big door. So our citruses and things like that will be good in here and be on pallets. And this will be stuff that we're growing in pots as well. And we're gonna build Misty a little shelf and all that kind of stuff. So a lot to work on, but it's good that we can go and get this started by going and get the black down, all the weed suppression down. This is so hard, nothing's gonna grow in here. And we didn't want to put anything in the ground. It was all gonna be raised beds anyway. But I need to go and get it secured and get the black on it, and that'll help keep it from getting muddy and nasty as we're watering and cleaning up. So that's kind of the project for today. Before we start doing anything else with the animals, we need to get this down, and that way we can move to the next step in the greenhouse, and everything's going incrementally, I guess. We got the bathtub in. That was a challenge this morning. I'll show you, it looks really nice. But let's get this cut while the kids are having fun playing in the creek, and see what we can get done. Are you hot?
A little bit.
A little hot. I feel like it's about 100. What would you say it's in here, Aiden?
Oh my gosh, probably 105 to 110.
We're like solid red.
It's liquid.
This tree does so good. Look at these plums. They're perfect. I mean, it's just, we're loaded full of plums. It's been a blessing to us. They're just now starting to turn purple. Even with losing so many, to animals, because we're organic, we don't spray, we still get so many. Last year was the biggest year we ever had. And this year's looking promising too. But this is called a methley plum. And they are so good. They're just bite-sized. They're perfect. They're very super sweet. You can see on this branch tree, look how many. And this is nothing compared to last year, how many we had. So again, a blessing. We don't need any more plums for jelly and preserves. But I absolutely love eating these little plums. They're so good, especially when we're just kind of walking around, getting things done. Man, they're just so refreshing. It's so good. All right, we are done with the main set of floor, and Aiden finished up the other two sections. I had something else I had to go jump on the farm to do, and he finished up on this two sides here. And so now we've got the whole floor basically done. It will be tightened down with more nails and actually another roll here and there going, but we've got to get everything where we want it. Once we get everything where we want it, we'll come back around and put more. Like for instance, we already had this laid, but we added more to it, make it look nice, new, fresh, and keeps, again, weed suppression down. So very good project to finish up today. It's been a long, hot, miserable day because it is steamy out here. But hey, we got it done, finished it up. Miss Mac's gonna start getting some raised beds, kind of figured out where she wants them. We're gonna go ahead and put our hydroponics in there. So that's the projects, but not for today, for another day. So it's a new day. We've got the greenhouse stuff completely finished, as we talked about yesterday. This morning, we got all the milking chores done, everything done that needed to be done. But we actually went on and got our hay cut. Our hay guy that does our work for us got that cut, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So You know, if you know anything about hay, if you can get it in the barn and it's safely going to get in the barn and you don't have to get rain on it, that keeps the quality even better. So we try to get it up before it starts raining. So we've got to move the old hay out of the barn. So we've got to get that old hay, move it out of the barn, go and drive to our hay field, get the new hay, load it, bring it back here, unload it, and do that 3 times. I have 3 loads up there because me and my father half our load. So we had about, I think it's around 60 on this first field. And then from there, I've also got some old hay up there in one of our old barns I need to get out too, so I'm gonna bring it here. So I'll put the new hay in the middle of the barn and kind of making sure it stays well. And then I'll get the old hay that's already here that we've not used, and we'll put it on the outsides. That way if the rain gets in it, it won't matter. And also the first hay that we use is the old hay. It's good to always have excess hay because that means we did something right. We actually had a good harvest last year. And so far this field last year harvested probably a little bit more than it did this year, but this is only the first cutting of the first field. I still have a whole nother area I've got to cut a first cutting on. My hay guy's going to look at that today. And then from there, we still got the second cuttings. And so far, we've had a good rainy season, which helps for a second cutting to happen. Maybe even a third cutting. We won't need a third cutting for sure because we have so much excess hay. But again, this is why we always make sure that we have enough and always prepare, because if we were not to get any more hay this year, this first cutting off our other field would be sufficient enough, plus the fact of all the excess and older hay that we kept under barns from last year. So we're in good shape. You know, it's one of those things that sometimes you hate paying for, you know, your hay to be rolled and all that. But to be honest with you, the only way I can keep my cows, especially during the winter time, is with hay. And it's non-sprayed, non-fertilized hay. So it is a game changer, and it's actually the only way to have true food sustainability in the winter. All right, so we've got all this cleared out other than Aiden's wood. This is for his house. All the framings right there, and that'll help us lay out the pad. We try to keep and reuse stuff, and that was one thing that we can reuse. So we're gonna take all this fence down right here and go ahead and get all the stuff moved over there, because we're gonna probably build the pad, I would imagine, in the next 3 to 5 weeks. So we've got everything out. And so now, since we got the bigger tractor, we didn't have the bigger tractor last year, so we can only stack 2 high. This year, since we actually have the bigger tractor, I got all the old hay out like we talked about, but I'm gonna be able to stack 3 high. Before, I was stacking 9 rows of about 6. So it was about 54 bales is all I could get in here. Well, this load is only like 30 something, but again, I have several other bales that's got to come off 2 more cuttings, and got some old bales too. But the beauty of all this is now, since I can go 3 high, that gives me on top of the 9 3 more. So each stack, instead of being 9, is actually 12. So 12 times 6, that's 72. I mean, look how much more I got in the barn just because I now can get it to that level. So very pleased with that. Glad that that's going to be something we can do, because it seems like I'm going to have a pretty good hay season this year, plus the old hay, plus some hay I need to get from other barns. So I'm glad that I'm able to utilize that, get that in the barn, and maybe I won't have to fill up. I have 2 other barns, you know, the chicken barn and also my gray barn that holds my like feed. Sometimes I have to move all that around just to fit a few bales in there. Well, this year I may not have to do that. So I'm glad of that. I think this is going to be a good hay year, and the best thing is I can keep it all in one barn and try to keep all this other stuff for all the other things I've got going on the farm. That's the start of your house, isn't it?
Start.
Now, I'm hoping to lay the pad out right here this next week. We got to take that fence down. We've called the well company. We're going to probably put the well on this back side back here just to keep it away from everything else, and also for the future of the fence. Checking on the onions, you see how they're starting to harden off. See that skin? That's what we want. We want that skin to harden, and that'll close up that onion at the very top right there. See how this one's almost done. Looks really good. All these are hardening up good, no problems. What you don't want to see is onions that are soft, and none of these are soft. All of these are great. It means they got good airflow. Look at that one. It's perfect. That's what we want. Look at this onion here. Great, great, great quality. So we're aging these out. Misty's already harvested and put some up in the freeze dryer, the smallest ones. And some of these are still big, and they'll stay here for about another, a few days. Amazing how much food you can produce if you just learn. And that's why I always challenge you guys. Just learn. Some days it's hard, but just like this little barn right here. This little barn we've raised hog in it. We've raised sheep in it, little baby sheep in it. We had to nurse one. We've got chickens in there now, rabbits in there now. We've got onions raised in there. Look, tomatoes like this, they're growing on the outside of it. Small space could provide so much food. I mean, think of eggs and just rabbits. Just think of that. I mean, we raised our Cornish cross in there last time just to keep them off the grounds in winter because it was coming out of winter. And we didn't want to have any bad weather. And so we put them in the barn, raised them on fresh grass, fresh hay. And man, they did great. We lost one out of all of them. Only lost one. So raise food. Learn how to raise food. Learn how to can food. And that way, it gives you that much more sustainability, that much more independence. All right, we're gone. You see I have a big sombrero hat on my back. Not going to the beach, not going fishing, but I am doing hay. And hay, it's in these big fields. This not in these fields, but fields like that are a lot bigger. And all it is pure sun, no shade. And I'm already kind of burned up from the last few days of doing all this other work we've been doing. But we've got to get the hay up. It's fixing to rain tonight. So this hay has got to be done today. We've got 57 bales to move. About 20 something will be coming back to my farm in my barn. The other will be at my dad's place, which is right close. So it makes it a little bit easier for him. But I'm going to go ahead and get all this moved, get them loaded. This field that we're going to is one of our lease fields. So we lease, my dad has a farm close, but we lease another 2 places. One is for cows and hay. The other is just part of, hey, you keep the fields up, I won't charge you, but you got to cut the hay off of it. So, that is a cost, an investment, because, we have to pay to get the hay cut. People always ask, why don't I just buy my own hay equipment? Hay equipment is about, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 when it's all said and done. Depending on the tractors and things like that, you have the fluffer, the roller, the baler, and all that. Well, not saying it's not a good investment, but I can pay the guy, save my money, and just buy what I need when I buy what I need, use the fields that I'm already renting, and so I'm not overpaying for hay. I'm actually paying for the hay that I'm just baling. And to be honest with you, if I had to bush hog it, it would still cost me money and time because I'd have to do it myself. So doing the hay on it helps me out twofold. It gets it cut, but then also it helps me feed my animals for the winter. And again, since I don't spray it, I can control it and know exactly what's going on in the fields versus having to buy just hay from a random shop or from a random co-op or from the guy because he's spraying fields or cutting fields or fertilizing fields. I'm actually just being able to raise the fields like I want to raise. So that's why we don't actually worry about buying our own equipment. We talked about buying some not too long ago, me and my dad, but it's just not really feasible because we're only cutting about 100 to 120 bales a year. Well, that sounds like a lot, but for most people, they're probably doing 300 to 500, or either doing 300 to 500 for their own and then another 500 to 1,000 off other people's fields to make money off of. Well, I don't have that flexibility and time just to go and cut everybody else's fields for them. So I feel like I'd be sitting that hay equipment down instead of using it more, and I'm scared breakdowns will just keep costing me money when I could just let him deal with that. Me pay him to do the labor on my own fields, it just makes more sense. So we got first load, 12 bales. These are the bigger bales. I thought I was gonna get 15 on here, but it's just these are the 6x6, not the 5x6. So I cannot get them, or the 4x5. Usually I stack 5 and then 4 on top and then 1 on the end, but it's just 2. You see I'm at the very end. I really wish I could have got 1 more at least, but it is what it is. I got 12 on this load. I got 2 more over here to get, and then you see all of them over here that we've already got stacked up and ready to go. So first load down. Now 2 more loads for sure, maybe even a 4th load to get out of here. Well, it's literally about 94 outside and I am scorched. So I got this whole outfit on. I look like I'm trying to stay away from the sun because it scares me, because it probably really does. But we are on our second major load. We've moved some hay at the other place too. You see we've got one stack in there already. Still the old hay out the back. We're gonna get this unloaded. I got one more load to actually bring here, and then I've got to do a little bit more work up there. But at least we're getting this done, and probably should get it done before dark, which is good. The biggest thing is really that I have to drive about 20 minutes to 30 minutes one way. So it's not that it's only about 12 to 13 miles, but because you know you're hauling hay, and for safety you can't just drive like crazy, so we have to kind of go slow. Jennings was with me for a little bit. Aiden helped me at the farm and got some stuff done while I was gone. Jennings was hanging with me for a little bit, and then he was like, Dad, I'm done, because it was so hot. So we've got to finish up moving this last one. I got one more after this, and hopefully I won't be just absolutely tore up, but I think I am. I actually have had this shirt on all day, but it's so hot. I don't know if the shirt is actually helping me, because it's one of those fishing shirts, so it still allows some you know, rays to go through it. But you can see, like, I've got it up here. I got this hat on. I look like a doofus, but I'm trying to stay as non-burned as possible. My nose, I can already feel like it is on fire. We've got all 40 bales put back. Everything's done. You see it's getting very humid, very cloudy. The sun is still out a little bit, but it's just kind of overcasted. And the humidity is affecting my camera because we are fisting to get ever more stormed on. But hey, we've got the hay up. I'm definitely toasted, and I'm ready to call it a day. Go in with the kids. We're gonna have pizza night and watch a series of movies together and just enjoy time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you being a part of our channel. God bless.